More details have been released as to why Molly Qerim abruptly quit ESPN. And when I say abruptly quit, I mean she left work, I think it was on Monday, and she never came back.
News in the sports media world, Molly Qerim, I believe that's how you say her last name. She is actually going to be stepping down from First Take today, or she at the end of the year, she was going to be stepping down as the host of First Take.
It's not every week we get to watch the machinery of ESPN, the slickest, most stubbornly stable partnership in American sports media, suddenly hit the eject button on its morning show queen. We all saw the headlines. Molly Qerim, the face of First Take for a decade, didn't stroll off into a sunset tribute or write out her contract to a bubbly-soaked farewell. No, her resignation landed out of nowhere in mid-September 2025.
I also wonder, bro, like from a human perspective, Molly was your sidekick for 10 years. We don't need to know she abruptly resigned.
Yeah.
Protect her at all costs.
Yeah.
That's my big thing, Social Trey.
I thought she was
Like,
here for the end of the year. I guess she's done now.
Remember, she didn't want it to leak because Molly ends up putting out a statement that, hey, it's unfortunately leaked. I didn't want it to, etc. But protect her at all costs.
The question of why Molly Qerim stayed silent about Smith after her exit hung in the air. Was it just professionalism, or did it point to something deeper? Rumors piled up, with fans speculating that Qerim's restraint, no mention, no thank you, no back and forth on social platforms, was its own message. Social threads boiled over, asking whether she'd been forced into a clean break or if she simply wanted to avoid a public feud. Smith, for his part, made sure to keep the secrets locked up. That story is for her to tell. Do I have an idea? Of course I do. Am I going to share it with you? No. With that, he managed to pour gasoline on every theory. If Smith knows something that would blow the lid off this story, he's making sure the next move isn't his.
Jason, I actually watched that whole video clip of Stephen A. Smith. I just thought it was funny. It ain't none of y'all business. It was a contract negotiation. Well, so that was about the money. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for cluing it. It's always about the money, though. It's like in boxing. Why didn't this fight happen? Easy. There wasn't enough money.
And we can't ignore the bigger machinery at work either. It's not just about bruised egos or broken friendships. It's about the gravitational pull of the NFL and ESPN's willingness to orbit closer and closer to the league's wishes. Just look at the timeline. Qerim out, Smith elevated to Monday Night Football coverage, and Fox Sports waiting in the wings with a multi-million-dollar offer for Molly to do, you guessed it, NFL and college football. It's almost poetic. Both Smith's rise and Qerim's next chapter revolve around the same golden ticket. And as for ESPN, the NFL isn't just a property, it's the engine driving their billion-dollar future. Any move that strengthens that bond, even if it means benching a loyal host, suddenly looks like smart business. Insiders claim it's no longer about journalism, chemistry, or who brings the real debates to morning television. Now it's about keeping league executives happy, keeping the broadcast windows packed, and keeping any potential roadblocks out of the way.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Aware, thoughtful, and passionate.
What do you have too much of?
Shoes,
Guilty pleasure.
retail therapy.
What would you do if you didn't host First Take?
I would work for a global nonprofit or host a travel show.
Wiley claimed that if Smith had really gone to bat for her, the network would have found the money. Instead, Qerim became instantly disposable, even after anchoring their top-rated show, even after years of corporate loyalty. Wiley put it in raw terms: when he signs off on you, you get what you want. When he doesn't, you don't. It doesn't get more inside baseball than that. We're talking about a place where you could be the backbone of a #1 show, but if you don't have Smith's nod, you're out-earned by analysts from less-watched programs. Mina Kimes, for example, pulling a bigger salary while Qerim's negotiating for scraps. Wiley made sure everyone heard that comparison, a date that now feels radioactive for everyone inside Bristol. ESPN's top brass scrambled to paint the exit as ordinary, with Burke Magnus hammering the no controversy line in every interview. But nobody close to the story could keep a straight face. Even the executives had to admit the timing blindsided them. On social media, the word abrupt didn't begin to cover it. 10 years in that host chair and then just gone, like she'd never existed. The official statements were pure comfort food, but the real story was already leaking out from every corner.
Let's remember, wasn't it just last week Stephen A. was on air bragging about the people he stood up for to get paid and how many, Cam, I did it for Shannon Sharp and I did it for this person and that person. And when I look at the abrupt, I'm not coming into work tomorrow.
Yeah.
That also is like, maybe there's pointing a finger at Stephen A. Smith.
First strange detail, Molly's Instagram sign-off, which fans had to squint at for meaning. She poured out thanks to viewers for welcoming me into your homes, called it an honor, a privilege, all that familiar Emmy night stuff. But then nothing, no specifics, not a single explanation for why she was walking away when, by all accounts, ESPN was trying to keep her, contract talks ongoing. But the weirdest omission, she never once typed Stephen A. Smith's name. Not a tag, not a thank you, not a single syllable. For a decade, she'd shared the set, the spotlight, and more than a few on-air sparring matches with Smith, the most powerful voice in the building. And now, radio silence. If we needed a clue that something had curdled behind the scenes, that silence might as well have been a foghorn.
He was quitting right now. Both ESPN and Molly Qerim, they are trying to polish them. They're trying to make this look like an amicable divorce. And look, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. Maybe they couldn't come to an agreement and they agreed to amicably part ways. I'm more interested in why.
Former ESPN host and ex-NFL star wasted no time before grabbing his mic and throwing gasoline on the fire. On his podcast, Wiley claimed it was all about money and creative control. Molly wants more money to stay on that show, or give me what I want and let me go do more. They balked at both. No word mincing there. Wiley insists she was done suffering for the morning zoo paycheck and wanted either a fat raise or a green light to host her own projects. ESPN, for all its CEO bluster, balked at both. According to Wiley's inside sources, the relationship with Stephen A. was already fracturing.
I looked up to Stephen A. Smith for a very, very long time. He was one of the reasons why I got into sports media, but then ended up meeting him. Wasn't the most, one of those don't meet your hero type experience. I don't know all the details, and I'm not going to tell you all the details because it's not your business. But I'm gonna be honest, it was an uncomfortable situation, and now watching him, get older, trying to go into the digital space, it can be a little uncomfortable.
All the while, the official ESPN line was still no shoe to drop. Magnus and the higher-ups pushed their version, that Molly just wanted to turn the page after a decade, that maybe she was ready to explore other things. We're supposed to believe everyone's friends, everything's clean, and the biggest on-air shakeup in years just happened because of life changes. But the evidence says otherwise. Agnes admitted the timing wasn't what we planned. Quorum's agent declined to comment. And meanwhile, her absence was already triggering tryouts for her replacement, a public scramble for the host chair, with the network openly floating everyone from Malika Andrews to Joy Taylor and Peter Schrager. The rumors of a big Fox Sports offer, millions on the table, only added fuel. Fox, it turns out, had been circling, ready to let Molly cover the NFL, college football, even lead high-profile studio shows. You don't line up those kind of deals unless someone on the inside tips you off that the house is burning down.
Last night, she abruptly resigned as the host of the show. And to say that I'm quite sad about it.
But with Molly's next move just over the horizon and her silence still echoing louder than any press release, nobody's betting this drama is over. If Qerim steps out with a tell-all or drops bombshells about the true nature of ESPN's partnership with the NFL, what happens then? Are we finally going to see proof that the network's loyalty is to billion-dollar contracts, not to the people who built its shows from the ground up? So as we watch the empty host chair, Smith taking another step onto the NFL's biggest stage, and Molly Qerim preparing her next act, we have to ask, when the truth comes out, whose side will ESPN really be on? The fans and the journalists, or the league that pays their bills? Drop your hottest theories in the comments below, because this story is far from over. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your popcorn ready, and remember, in the world of sports scandals, nothing stays buried for long.